The North American auto industry has been going through some very hard times, at least had been. Right now seems to be bouncing back. And joining us to talk about this, David Mondragon. He is the president and CEO of the Ford Motor Company of Canada Limited. Sir, pretty tough times, and what was happening at General Motors and Chrysler was even worse than what was happening at Ford, and a lot of people worried for the entire future of the auto industry in North America. What's your sense of where we are now, and where are we going?
Well, I think in the market today, first off, it's flattened off a little bit in the third quarter. We think it'll flatten off year over year in the fourth quarter, but there still is great opportunity in the industry. We think that companies globally are starting to leverage global assets. We're starting to get our economies of scale down. We're starting to right-size our production facility to be more in line with demand, and I think that's why our bottom lines are starting to strengthen. At Ford, we posted a $5 billion profit in the first half of this year, and that's a $7.5 billion improvement on a year-over-year basis. So we feel good about where we're at, and we feel good about the future, but the economy is still in question. It's shown great signs of moderation over the last 3 months.
The people who manage the auto industry in North America came under heavy fire from many analysts and politicians because many people looked at the industry and said, you guys are self-destructing. Nobody's coming over here to shoot you guys in the foot. You're doing it to yourselves. Were there lessons you learned about how to manage businesses as large as yours and make them successful here?
Yeah, first and foremost, you have to learn to deal with the realities of the business environment, and that's what we did. We made very hard decisions as a company. We financed our own way through a difficult time, and we managed our business on our own terms. We closed 28 plants over the last few years globally. We let go 120,000 employees. So we made very difficult decisions over 4 years ago that put us in a position of strength today. We borrowed some money in the market at early times, and we invested all of that money in new products that consumers want and value, and that's really the difference for our company today versus some of our competitors.
Sir, can I ask you about what happened a couple of years back when General Motors and Chrysler were crying poor and we need help? The U.S. federal government stepped in, huge amounts of bailout money, and Ford sat on the sidelines and said, you know what, I think maybe we can do this by ourselves. And a lot of people said there's going to be a payback for that attitude and that resourcefulness somewhere down the road. Are you starting to see that payback?
Well, we think there's a positive payback. First and foremost, for us, it was our only option. Look, the benefit of going into bankruptcy is only one, and it's to draw down some debt. Otherwise, there's more negatives than positives associated with that. The positive that we've gained is not only consumers are looking at our brand in a different way, but they appreciate the fact that we've managed through difficult times on our own terms. The added benefit is the fact that now we're generating positive cash flow and we're buying down that debt. We've reduced our debt from $44 billion just a couple of years ago to $27 billion. And we're doing that because we're running a smarter business today.
So if you're making money now and you see down the road that you're going to continue to stay in business and make good money, what does that mean for jobs in the auto industry in North America?
Well, look, first and foremost, the auto industry has to pick up. It's still fairly stagnant. We've got growth this year in Canada of about 7%, and that's where we're calling it for the rest of the year. For next year and the years beyond, for the next few years, we're only looking at about 2% growth in the Canadian auto industry. That's a point less than the GDP growth next year. So there still are going to be some challenges. In the U.S., there's great challenges in the industry, and it's going to take a long time before it gets back to the 15, 16, and 17 million industry that it needs to be for us to really thrive and grow in terms of our footprint.
David Mondragon is the president and CEO of Ford Motor Company of Canada. Nice to see you, sir. Thank you for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on the show.